for Monday, February 25th is going live in 3, 2, 1. This Week in Blizz is proudly sponsored by DoghouseSystems.com. If you use the code TWIB at checkout, that's CWIB, you will get double memory on your next Doghouse system. We thank DoghouseSystems.com for their support of This Week in Blizz. And also TweakedAudio.com. Go to TweakedAudio.com for high-performance, noise-reducing earbuds. Use our code TWIB to get 30% off plus free shipping on your next order, and support This Week in Blizz in the process.
Armed and ready. Who wants some?
This Week in Blizz.
Welcome back, everyone, to This Week in Blizz. I'm Garrett Weinzierl.
I'm Kyle Ferguson. Oh no! We didn't decide ahead of time.
Oh no! That's Kyle Ferguson, and the guy leading up where Ben usually sits is...
Michael Doherty.
Ah, welcome to the show. See, for the listening audience at home via podcast that don't tune in to our little bit of pre-show, we usually decide ahead of time who's going to say their name in what order. It always starts with me because I'm the one calling the shots. I can hear when the intro ends, so I start the show. And then usually Ben and Kyle will alternate. But since Ben is gone into Middle-earth to destroy the One Ring, Mike is guesting, and we did not do that in the beginning, so people are talking over one another. Now that the fourth wall has been completely and utterly destroyed before you, welcome to another episode of This Week in Blizz, the show keeping you up to date on the worlds of Blizzard entertainment. Guys, gentlemen, dudes, unless one of you are now a lady, and I apologize, how you doing?
Kyle, be my guest.
I'm still trying to get over why, if I wanted to be a woman, you wouldn't be happy for me.
I would just apologize for calling you a man.
Oh, okay. Well, that's kind of you, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, by no means.
Also,
no, I'm very sorry that I was not trying to sound sexist. I would not apologize if you were now a woman. I would apologize for addressing you by the improper address.
of course, I'm doing great. I'm super excited for Heart of the Swarm. Oh my goodness, been going through the campaign again. I haven't turned up to brutal because that's how I like it, but sadly, it probably means I won't beat it in time. And that doesn't matter too much because I'm taking my time because I don't want to burn out. And this happens. But this weekend I also played some Diablo 2, 3, yes.
You played 3 because I logged on to WoW and was very confused. I was like, Kyle's on in Diablo. I haven't seen him in Diablo in a very, very long time.
Well, I may have explained my Saturday schedule a bit on this past week's StarCast, but basically, we had a lot of laundry to do. We needed a game we could pause that wasn't competitive, that we couldn't die in the meantime. So we decided on Diablo 3. Had a great time. I really need to take the time to write Blizzard a letter and thank whoever came up with Archon for Wizard for doing such an awesome job. Because there is no game out there that better encapsulates what a wizard wants to do than turn into energy and explode.
Yeah. All right, I'll give you that. I'll give you that indeed. The more and more I play Magic, by the way, the more I totally get why you're so into it, Kyle. Because like the whole thing is about being a wizard, and the more you keep that in your mind, the more fun the game I think is.
Oh, most certainly. I mean, I have been continually accused of being over thematic with my decks. A lot of people are like, these are the best cards. This is my favorite color. Let's do this thing. But I'm like, no, that card's a cleric and that card's a zombie. And the zombie needs to be in a zombie deck where everything's themed. And there's like a graveyard card. And I just watch too much Yu-Gi-Oh, I guess.
Well, I mean, to a point, I mean, the game lends itself that way. I mean, you should have a general theme. Even if you're doing a mixed colored deck, there are mixed colored cards that have a good bit of synergy to them. I'm a noob, but I figured this much out. Like, for example, I have a decent Gruul deck going on with I got a bunch of Gate Crash cards, thanks to my girlfriend for Valentine's Day and Ben, who introduced me to the game. So I've been creating a Gruul deck, which is red and green.
Oh, nice. Oh, well, I'll have to bring down some of those cards for you, because new Magic players always need to get some donations from friends.
Yes, indeed. The problem being that so many of my cards are Gatecrash cards, I don't think you're going to have any of the multiples I need, because you haven't picked up any of the new cards, have you?
No, I don't. I'm not much for the new sets. I think that multicolored cards are restricting and ruin my magical themes. In fact, if I was in the Pokemon world, I would never reach Grandmaster of the Universe because I'd be that damn kid hiding out in the cave because I need all rock style Pokemon or whatever it may be that I got into.
Well,
I'd
no,
probably be in the Ghost Tower actually.
No, I would say you just end up being the gym leader of Pewtertown.
Which one is Pewtertown?
The very first one, Brock, is the all rock. All the gym leaders are element themed, dude.
Yeah.
Everyone up until the Elite Four are element themed. So you would have been fine. You would have had a place to go.
Yeah.
In the original, there wasn't a ghost trainer. I don't believe it was just a ghost tower.
Yeah, and that was kind of creepy because those Pokemon were dead. They were dead Pokemon,
and then there was a random Cubone whose
Cubones
mother
out
died.
there.
So.
Did they start off dead though, or were they just dead?
My
Pikachus?
understanding is that they wear their mother's skulls.
Yes, the mother is dead. The Cubone is alive. It wears the skull of its mother, which is, yeah. Anyways, this is not This Week in Magic Pokemon element-themed collection battle of games. This is This Week in Blizz. And the biggest news this week would not fall under either of the three categories we usually break the show up into. It would branch across all three of them, so we're going to talk about it here at the top of the show. BlizzCon 2013 was announced, and it's going to be happening on November 8th and November 9th. I could not be more damn excited. I guess I could be slightly more excited if indeed they told us how much the tickets were going to be and when they're going on sale, so I can properly plan.
This will be the first one that isn't in October, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've only been to the two most recent ones, and they were both in October. I couldn't tell you if when the first BlizzCon was held or anything like that. And this is the 7th one. So, of the two of the 6 that have already happened that I've been to, it was in October.
So last time was the Foo Fighters, and the time before that was Jack Black. So there's really no theme.
No, sir, not Jack Black. It was
Tenacious
Tenacious
D.
Well, okay, yes. Pardon me.
Day.
But all the same, there's no theme into guessing which band it's going to be. They pretty much pick someone with enough nerd cred.
Well, yeah, I mean, until I say the Foo Fighters, it was kind of, they were kind of going for this, like, metal or a riff on metal thing. Like, they had Ozzy Osbourne, and they had Tenacious D. Ozzy Osbourne, kind of the, he's very much established in the metal scene. And then, obviously, I know metal fans don't write in like, hey, not metal, I listen to, Scandinavian black metal. I know there's different types of metal. I'm talking, like, 80s, tapping solos on a guitar. But, and then Tenacious D is, like, a comedy, like, ode to metal kind of band.
Well, sure, metal you can actually sing along to.
Right, and then but then the Foo Fighters, I would say, is not metal at all. They're just kind of, modern rock. So I think after having the Foo Fighters, they have now just kind of opened it up to where I think they could have really any rock act. They're not going to get Justin Bieber. I think we can safely say that.
Aww. Be a perfect blood elf.
No.
Blood elf female.
No. Mm-mm. He'd be a perfect whatever the gnome is that dies in that Cataclysm dungeon. That would be the perfect role for Justin Bieber.
Millhouse?
Yes, Millhouse Man of Storm. There you go. Thank you for reminding me, Kyle. Of course, Kyle knows the random name of a gnome warlock. Good stuff. But I don't know. Mike, you have probably the most eclectic fandom of music I know of. Who would you like to see close out a BlizzCon?
Jeez, I don't even know. Maybe Talking Heads. That'd be fun. You know what? Let's just have the B-52s.
About me a Chrysler, it's as big as a whale.
Exactly.
Oh man, that'd be terrible. They play like at Universal Studios, dude. That just no. I'd stay for Rock Lobster and then I'd just leave.
Well,
be the
that's
end
all they
of
really
that.
have to do is rock lobster, and then have a bunch of people come out in those big lobster monster outfits. Couldn't be any worse than that panda suit that they had at the Blizz Nationals. That was
Oh, the
awful.
WCS finals? Yeah,
Yeah, that was awful.
That was so bad. That was so freaking bad. And then Kyle, you're not big in music, so I'm not even going to ask you for your opinion.
Nope, I don't even remember names well enough, so let alone music.
Gotcha.
I don't know the ones who sing that whale song. Decemberists? No.
Whale song?
I don't even remember.
Bjork sounds like a whale. It's, I don't know. Anyway, there's a lot more than just the final band to talk about. Of course, they're going to have playable demos on the floor of the games currently in development. We're all kind of assuming to hear the next Warcraft expansion, the next Diablo expansion. What do you guys think about Titan, though? Do you think we're going to finally hear... Do you think we're going to get the Titan reveal at BlizzCon 2013?
It's an interesting idea because of the PlayStation stuff we'll get into later. But, Titan, now we got Diablo coming to PlayStation 3 and 4. And the whole idea of this huge project going back into consoles and computers makes a lot of sense. So it could be combined with that. It might be time.
Yeah, I don't really see the Diablo 3 announcement as being like a huge thing. It's just kind of like oh yeah, and we're doing it for consoles too. It's kind of like just dip their toe back into the console market. I get the feeling, less than like a huge project for them.
Yeah. Also, Kyle, there's been no confirmation, hint, or any word otherwise about Titan having anything to do with a console.
Sure, but it'd be a great time. I mean, new console cycle. Already sticking your toe in. I mean, what's the point of putting your toe in if you're not going to go for a swim?
Good point. That would be interesting because they'd be competing directly with stuff like whatever, Destiny. Is that what Bungie's doing?
Yeah, which is now owned by Activision. So why would Activision compete against itself?
Well, because they would still make money, but
Yeah, I don't see that being. I don't know.
that's not to say that either one of the games would be even remotely similar.
Yeah, that is very true. So who knows? We'll have to figure out. I think it's gonna be another year before we get a Titan announcement. Personally, I hope I'm wrong. I want to know what it is, and I'm hoping I'm even more wrong, and it has something to do with StarCraft. But
I don't know. I mean, we've heard so much about, of all the expansions we've had for World of Warcraft, this one seems to have the biggest through line that is followable outside of like a major boss. Because, with Deathwing, we had Deathwing, kill him, but there wasn't any sort of tie into whatever the next expansion would this be. With this one, we kind of know the Burning Legion's on the horizon, so I'm sure they'll have a lot of content already to show us about that. And if we have the Diablo expansion, I mean, why would they even ruin next year's BlizzCon? There's no way we're going to see Project Titan in 2014.
right, but I mean, Blizzard has been known to announce games years ahead of time. StarCraft 2, for example, was announced 3-4 years before it actually came out.
Yeah, but that's an old IP. I mean, you can kind of bank on old sales, people buying battle chests or picking up old copies of the game. But with Titan, there's nothing to get excited about outside of what they show us. And if they show us nothing but a bunch of drawings and some scenic art, those can look like any other game.
Yeah, Blizzard's not going to announce a game if all they have are drawings and scenic art. They're going to announce a game when they have something playable internally, which we know they have it playable internally.
Yeah, but the announcement for Pandaria at BlizzCon last year, 2 years ago, wasn't the hottest looking thing on Earth.
But no. Until you played it. I when they announced it, I was like, okay, nothing special. But then I immediately went over and played it because I know, well, if I don't do it now, I'm going to wait 6 hours to try this damn thing out. And I remember being just blown away by how nice it looked and the whole theme they had going on.
Yeah, exactly. And they had all that content out on the floor, but when they actually put it up on the screen, like if you were doing this announcement for only the people who are watching the stream from home, there wasn't much to see of Pandaria.
Okay.
I guess I could see that.
But
But
that's
then
how-
again, it's an
that's-
older game.
Yeah, and that's how they've announced every expansion. Wrath of the Lich King had that really lame in-game announcement trailer as well, where they had a Death Knight wearing hunter armor because they hadn't made any new armor yet, scaling a mountain with one Yeti. and a bunch
That's
of
true.
undead that we've already seen before.
Well, that didn't actually matter. I lost my mind at that.
I did too, just knowing that it was about Northrend. But all I'm saying is this is how every WoW expansion was announced.
Sure, but we're not arguing a WoW expansion here, something that kind of exists within the realms of what we already know. This is...
No, but you brought it up, and you were wrong, so I had to tell you were wrong.
We're still on that point, are we?
Yes. No, I would like to see Titan. I don't think we're going to see Titan, but it would be awesome to nonetheless see it. So Blizzard, just announce it. I don't care if it's not ready yet. I'll be excited. We'll hype it up for you on this show. It's fine.
Just imagine the rage that would sweep across America if Titan just turned out to be some little like tower defense iPhone game or something. Just like, hey guys, hope you like it. I worked pretty hard on this.
It would be great, except as I think we talked about last week. I think this even came up on StarCraft or StarCast. Kyle was that on their hiring page, Titan is listed as a next gen MMO.
Yeah. Well, and we already knew that, and we all kind of assume that it's an MMO that takes the next step into the casual market.
Yeah.
A tower defense MMO with building stacking.
Wow, you hit it there, Mike.
Yeah,
No,
it's copyrighted. No one else can use that.
It's the dance studio,
Good.
but it's coming out for the move.
Brilliant.
Breaking down those barriers.
Sell it, man. Anyways, we're also gonna get. I'm laughing still about the tower defense thing, just because I hate tower defense so much. Except this last week, I've been on a Plants vs Zombies kick because it was free on the iPhone. But that's that. That's neither here nor there. We're gonna have esports tournaments there. I hope we get to see the GSL finals there once again because that was just so damn awesome last time. Now, Mike, it's interesting you're here. You've never been to a BlizzCon before.
No, but I've been to an E3.
You have been to an E3.
Yeah.
BlizzCon doesn't have nearly as many scantily clad people.
Yeah, that's a shame. Does it have a SpongeBob?
No.
Damn. Then I guess they're not that similar.
But you're not that far from LA, and if you really want to see a creepy SpongeBob, you can head down to Hollywood Boulevard. And that's actually, no, wait, I think they started cracking down on that. So maybe you can't anymore. I'm not sure. But nonetheless, are you planning on going this year? I know Kyle and I, it's like pretty much dead set. We're going to make this happen one way or the other. If we have to like kill someone's grandma and take their airplane ticket, we're going to make it there.
I would absolutely love to. Unfortunately, all my grandmothers are dead. So we'll just have to see. Maybe someone else's grandmother lives
I didn't
close.
say it had to be our own grandmother.
Yeah, what are you, sick?
I've only got one left, man. I'm not going to...
Wait a minute. I live pretty close to the beach. I'm pretty sure there's a bunch of old grannies within range.
Wondrous. Well, that's good. That's very nice. Anyways, so again, BlizzCon will be happening November 8th and 9th. Just go to blizzcon.com. We'll definitely be letting you guys know whenever ticket sales are announced and what the price is. I'm curious to see if they go up drastically or not. Well, do you remember what they were last time, Kyle? 150, 175?
I couldn't tell you. I'm in fact more interested to see the scope and size of the audience they're letting in. If it's going to be any different, if they're going to have more of a focus on some of the esports events and keeping those, because those went all the time this past time, but they were rather secluded in an odd area. If they open up maybe another big amphitheater and keep the main stage, but maybe a room only for the esports along with another StarCraft room, who knows?
Oh, yeah.
Would you guys say that BlizzCon was overcrowded last time you went?
It wasn't that bad.
No?
No. I mean, it certainly wasn't like Christmas time Disney World or anything.
I mean, it's definitely crowded, but it wasn't terrible. They, I think last time they had it was the first time that they rented the entire convention center. So, I mean, they had as much space as they could have.
Okay. Yeah, so I guess that would be a little different than E3. E3 was just a swirling cauldron of nerd funk and unshowered fat people. It was awful.
Wonderful. Yeah, they've that's another thing they kind of it's not as public anymore as E3. But Oh well. Anyways.
Well, and it's that barrier to entry that makes it a little more special. I mean, you don't have jackasses that are getting dragged along for a day. I did see some significant others who didn't look like they wanted to be there, and I'm just thinking, what are you doing? One, this is expensive, but two, you don't sign up for this unless you're into it.
Yeah, exactly. We ran into people who went just to see the Foo Fighters. I'm like, you really spent $150+ just to see the Foo Fighters? I mean, I like the Foo Fighters, but their concerts aren't that expensive. You could have seen them do their own thing for a lot less.
Yeah, and I liked how the Foo Fighters took everyone away so that I could play Blizzard Dota multiple times in a row.
Oh, that's just disrespectful.
See how much you really like them with the Food Fighters.
All right, wonderful. Well, let's get into this week's StarCraft news, shall we? Heart of the Swarm got its 15th balance update, much like the 14th. It was very small and nerfing the Hellbat. The Hellbat got switched around a little more, or shall I say, I don't know, castrated, neutered, just a hair more.
Devolve back to its previous form.
Yeah, the transformation to and from Hellbat mode now requires the transformation servos upgrade from the factory tech lab, and the transformation servos requires an armory, and it costs $150 with a 110-second research time. So
damn expensive.
Indeedy-doo, but it's honestly seems very necessary considering all of the flames, no pun intended, surrounding the Hellbat this past month.
Well, if you're doing some scouting, you do need two completely different strategies to deal with a Hellbat or a Hellion. So at least now, if you're scouting in the early game and you see those guys hanging out, be either one. They're not going to transform into the other. I mean, I guess you could do like 50-50 if you really wanted to, but that's a ridiculous strategy. One's moving stupidly faster than the other. Keeping them together is going to be a nightmare. So at least now you know what's coming towards you. If you see Hellbats and dropships, that's all it's going to be.
I don't think you're ever going to see a 50-50 outside of Bronze. I mean, I could see people say they make Hellions to go scout the map, harass and whatnot, but then they see like a big roach push or something. I could see them then, okay, time to make Hellbats as a reaction. I don't think anyone's going to go, I want 3 Hellions and 3 Hellbats. Why'd I lose? I don't get it. That's not going to happen. But yeah. So this is good. Against this. That sounds good. I don't know, Kyle, you've been on the receiving end of a lot of Hellbat aggression. So, I mean, have you played a lot since this was even introduced? It's only been up for, 4 days?
Yeah, it really hasn't changed much because people weren't transforming in the first place. The good news is you can't even mess with that turn in or be Hellions, get in the medevac, transform once you land, then get into Hellbat mode. Even though that transformation was stupid long, pretty much useless, you'd probably die along the way. Now you can't even do it. You can't even take advantage of that lack of space that you have in Hellion mode.
Yeah. Well, not
the armory, but other than that, I mean, for my Terran brethren out there, making this an armory requirement off the tech lab just seems a bit much. Because this is something you can pump out with a reactor. And granted, yes, you can lift up your factory and flippy-floppy it around, but
well, they're basically saying, you're not going to get this early, and now it is very much a choice. It is a cut and dry choice for early to mid game. Like, I'm going to go Hellions or I'm going to go Hellbat. I'm not going to be switching to and from anytime soon.
It sounds like that might be why they did it, like to make it more of a clear-cut choice. Maybe not for the pros, since they already have that stuff worked out, but for mid-level guys who are like trying to figure out what am I supposed to do with all these options.
Clearly, you haven't been watching any of the Heart of the Swarm Pro matches, because I wouldn't say anyone has anything figured out right now. It's very entertaining, actually. It's like watching early Wings of Liberty beta stuff again. But Yeah, I don't know. I was about to roll into something, lost the thought. I've said my piece.
It's just odd. With Zerg getting so many upgrades moved to the hatchery, yet still at the full price, and the tank upgrade completely going away, now to give this odd requirement of an armory, and then you still have to pay a rather high price of 150 minerals, 150 gas, I would be perfectly fine with my opponent just having to spend that, knowing that they're working on it. I mean, if you're seeing Hellions coming out of a tech lab factory, that's going to tell you everything you need to know already.
Not necessarily. Did you say because if Hellions are coming out and they have a tech lab, they could be getting blue flame? That doesn't necessarily tell you that.
That's true, but there's no reason. Yeah, I guess so. There'd be no reason though to get blue flame. Blue flame's sitting in a weird place right now because it doesn't affect Hellbats at all.
No, it's not. But I mean, if you're still investing in, mass Hellion harassment, blue flame is still going to have a place.
Yes, which could mean that while you're going to your armory, you're getting blue flame along the way, and then you're going to go back later and get that upgrade changed in case you need it. So either way, things don't change. We just have a bunch of blue flame Hellions again. Odd choices. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
I like the restriction.
Yes. I'm all for it. In other news.
Team Liquid, the user Exodor, has done a full breakdown of all the rewards you get from leveling in Heart of the Swarm. Of course, you have a total of 90 levels, 30 for each. So, as you make your way through the various experience points, gaining them with each match won, you can take a look at what kind of things you are going to win.
Yeah, some of this stuff looks freaking cool. Like, do you see some of the new unit skins you get? Like, for example, oh my god, where is it? I'm like scrolling through this thing, and this is new to me. That's a dance. Damn it! Level 20. All of your supply units get like pimped out. Like the supply depot, the overlord, and the pylon all get these additions that make them look cooler, which is fun. Like the overlord looks badass, which is hilarious because it is indeed an overlord, which means it's just kind of floating and hanging out.
Yeah, the supply depot looks like they added a crane on the back. I mean, these, of course, add no changes to the units themselves. The pylon looks more armored. If indeed the crystal is the vulnerable part of a pylon, of course, not affecting the stats at all.
Right.
What do you guys think about that? I mean, we've played a lot of leveling games. There's a lot of games out there that reward you for playing more and more. And this has a cap that can be reached decently fast in the current system.
I could see it taking longer once the game goes live. I've heard nothing on the subject of it if it is indeed going to take longer, but I am all for this. I mean, this is what the community has been clamoring for the longest time.
Yeah.
People have been like...
Rewards for what you're doing anyway.
Right. People are saying, listen, there's no incentive to play for the casuals. Like, I'm not going to get to Grandmaster. I'm not going to get to go to WCS. So why should I care? I mean, obviously, yes, there are those of us who are just deeply competitive by nature, and yes, I am by no means saying that there's no appeal to this game. That's not what I'm saying. But people have been asking for fun stuff like this. Like unit skins has been on the top of our wish list as a community for the longest time. That's one of the things you will never hear me say that never dispute with the Reddit community. That's the only thing I think they've ever said that makes any sense.
So you were saying with the skins, like it was adding a crane to certain things. Is this just kind of, I guess, cereal? Not cereal. Yes, cereal.
Cosmetic?
Cosmetic changes and stuff, but are they kind of more serious stuff, or is it really just getting some funny things in there? I think like that would be great to just have some really silly crap, like put spinners on things.
No, because there's no deviation from it. I mean, you have to go to level 20, and then you get this version of a supply depot, and you either turn it on or you turn it off. So for the Zerg units, I know they're called mutated. So you get your mutated Overlord, and then at level 30, you get the Raptorling, but that's the mutated Zergling.
Right.
Is its formal name.
The Marines and the Zealots, by the way, look positively badass.
Oh, the Marine sporting a big old bayonet on the end of his gun, got a kick-ass shield. That Zealot, all in black armor with, turquoise lasers. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's really good stuff.
I guess that's about as cool as, like a acidic green with flames and diamond studs and gold trim. Yeah.
I would like the Thor to be replaced with all leopard interior. Leopard.
Yeah. Some rims. But it's still on them hose.
But I don't disagree with you, Mike. I think that'd be an interesting way to go, where obviously now that they've done this, they can add more to the game now. They could have these unlocked via many other ways. They could even open up a store and be like $1 per design, whatever, just to monetize it further. So they could add some really funny stuff. I'm not sure how I feel about. I think I'd prefer the game to constantly adhere to a standard design philosophy, but still.
I think it'd be the only game they have that really does. I mean, even Diablo has the foo-foo exploding cow level.
True, but that is one part of the game that has literally nothing to do with the story or the well, there is no competitive nature, but if there was a competitive nature, I guarantee you that would not be a part of it.
Well, and using their custom art assets, you could go in and make a custom game with whatever you want in it, but the latter is going to be kept a little more serious for that note. It is cool how the highest level is your base unit, because clearly that's going to be most affected. I mean, we don't get a Viper skin or anything weird at a tier 3 or anything. I mean, these are Marines, Zerglings, Zealots.
You're going to see these.
Yep.
And same thing with the level 20 stuff, your Supply Depot Overlord Pylon. You're gonna see these all the time. And the other thing, Mike, that they're worried about is you can't change the silhouette too much, because you need to know what you're fighting.
That's true.
If they're upgraded or not, because there are units that their visuals change once they're upgraded. Marines, for example, when you get combat shields, now they have a shield, so you couldn't just have a cosmetic shield.
Well, and these are the basics that you need to teach people. I mean, Pylons and Zealots, those. Once we've got this under our belt, I feel like a lot more can be done. I've just been playing a lot of Dota 2, and the way their system works is it's more of a randomized reward, which I feel like with their extremely long leveling system. I mean, right now in Heart of the Swarm, I am level 22. 6 of that is Protoss, and the rest is all Zerg. And that seems really quick for me. In the course of the beta, I have gotten to level 22. I feel like I should be lower. I feel like maybe these should just come at random times so that I am further motivated by that chance to get something, rather than working towards a goal and eventually reaching 30 where I stop. Granted,
I disagree with you so much. Finish your point.
There's a huge difference between Dota and StarCraft. StarCraft, all these things are made in-house by the developers and are official. And Valve makes Dota items official by buying them from their workshop, because these are designed by people with the whole philosophy that our fans can make more content than we ever can.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be against Blizzard doing that either, and I kind of wish they would. But as to your point of wanting it to be a random unlock, that would just drive me bananas, and I could just imagine the backlash from the community of just, because there's going to be those 5 people who are just the unluckiest people on the face of the earth and have played 10,000 games and haven't unlocked their damn Marine.
Well, but if you really are upset, you can go spend $12 at the Dota store and get yourself the full sort of suit of armor, then by, chancing it for 5 different pieces of armor so you can look the way you want.
I'm talking about StarCraft.
Exactly. So it's a completely different system.
Exactly.
I just think right now the leveling moves way too fast, and there aren't enough rewards to extend the leveling or to make me want to level everything.
You know what I say to people like you, Kyle?
If I was paying for a game, then I want to get me some rewards, darn it. I don't want to have to work that hard. If it's a free game, yeah, I'll work my butt off for it because I haven't paid for anything.
You know what I say to you, Kyle? The leveling wasn't there before, so shut up. It's better than nothing. I like it. I'm excited, and I'm sure we'll see it expanded come Legacy of the Void, and hopefully before that. Next patch, we're upping the level to 40 and adding, 3 new skins. Like
We could just see a whole new bracket of levels. I mean, look at these silhouettes or pictures. Some of them we already have, like Hydralisks. But this is the Heart of the Swarm Hydralisk.
right,
I
yeah,
don't think-
they're more pimped out. Like we already have a Kerrigan, a Raynor, and a Zeratul, but they're not all Heart of the Swarmy, glowy, psionic energy awesomeness.
Exactly.
Some of these portraits are freaking awesome, by the way.
All right, I guess we'll go on to the next thing, which is tomorrow. Vengeance will be Blizzard's and yours.
Yes.
Blizzard has announced that they will be having a live streaming event Tuesday, which would be tomorrow. They will unveil a trailer for the Heart of the Swarm titled Vengeance, host an esports show match, and live talks with Blizzard devs.
Yep, well, we talked about this a little bit on StarCast, and both Kyle and I kind of came away as confused. If this is a trailer and it's the kind of thing they're going to be showing on commercials with words flying towards the screen like they did for Diablo and Pandaria, I can't talk today. Why are they making such a big deal about it? Because usually all it is very short, cut-together clips of stuff we've already seen.
Yeah.
Well, the name suggests, that it's very tied into the campaign itself and the storyline.
Right.
Yet we're doing a esports show match. So are we promoting esports? Well, clearly. Are we promoting the new game? Well, maybe. But in our current state of Heart of the Swarm esports, it's kind of embarrassing. And in the current state of what Blizzard does right before a game, they're not going to tell us anything. So why am I showing up?
I get the feeling they'll probably just showcase probably a little bit of the in-game cinema, like the first in-game cinema.
Well, we've already seen the entire first in-game cinema.
No, we've seen the entire of the pre-rendered one. This one will probably be more of like the in-game type stuff, which is still pretty darn cool.
Oh yeah, no, I agree. Especially if you have a computer that can run it with everything turned up, it looks really good.
Well, and we'll probably see some of the research hubs, where we evolve our various units. Maybe whatever the equivalence of getting those artifacts, because there was the armory in the first campaign, and then there's also the laboratory. So we know what the mutation chamber looks like, but we don't know what other sort of bonuses we're getting there. Mostly, I'm just concerned for spoilers because, frankly, what they've already leaked out has gone a little too far, in my opinion. So I've cut myself off.
You should not do a podcast about StarCraft, probably.
Well, we talk a lot about esports and other things like that, but I don't want to talk about the Protoss level that I've seen.
All right, fair enough. I'll give you that.
You sacrifice much to be able to talk about StarCraft.
Awesome. Totally freaking awesome. But anyway, yeah, that's tomorrow. I'll definitely be tuning in. If anything, I'll have to listen to it because of the time it's going on. But
exactly, a weird time, particularly for a tied-in live stream event.
Yeah, you think if they do it at like prime time? Like, I wish they were having it tomorrow night. I could raid and I could have it on my second screen and wipe us. It'd be great.
You can still wipe us anyway.
I am not the one wiping us, sir. I am good at what I do. And then finally, speaking of events that aren't held at weird times, well, actually, it's arguable depending on what side of the world you live on. The Heart of the Swarm launch events for all over the flipping globe have been announced. Just today, actually, I barely had a chance to look at this even. So we're going to talk about this and react to it in real time. So, for the U.S., it's taking place at GameStop in Irvine, California. It's going to have Mike Morheim, Chris Metzen, Chris Siggety, Sam Didier, and more. But also interesting are the players playing in the show matches. They're going to have Pult, they're going to have MC, Suppy, and Vibe, and then Day9 and Husky will be casting it. And if you're watching the video feed right now, is this not the worst damn picture of Day9 you've ever seen in your life?
It is odd. I mean, he's doing the what's going on over their face with the earphone half off his head. I mean, Husky's looking rather divine with that backlighting.
Husky looks like StarCraft Jesus, and Day9 looks like a Pixar villain. I mean, he just looks like who's the guy from the Incredibles? Syndrome. Yes. If you gave him like the crazy hair and a red jumpsuit, He looks like Syndrome, which is hilarious because Day 9 is like the happiest guy ever, but they just, these pictures are just hysterical. And then if you go over to France and you go down to poor old Tasteless, he looks like a bully at the high school that the Power Rangers went to. So
wearing a Clockwork Orange shirt. I mean, he's got to have more pictures of himself than that. I mean, he's got an agency.
Yes, he does. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you, man. I mean, I'm down with the Clockwork Orange shirt. That's great, but terrible picture.
So this is all going on at a GameStop?
Well, this is the GameStop I think they've had a few at now, and what they do is they kind of convert the parking lot. They like bring out a stage, and they bring out. I was
gonna say like the 3 guests. That's a full GameStop right there.
No, it's outside. They used to have it at a Fry's, but I guess they stopped doing it at Fry's. Now they're at GameStop.
Either way, the important news is that Day 9 Husky know how to work a crowd, unlike the Diablo event, which was very embarrassing. And I'm hoping I can get that bad taste out of my mouth.
I'm still trying to wash out WCS, man. You want to talk about an awkward event?
Yeah.
But I mean, Diablo. I mean, what are you gonna do? It's not like you have esports
Spiders.
personality, or you don't have like personalities or community personalities around Diablo. There's a few. I mean, you've got like you had Kungan, who was like this crazy hardcore Diablo player, but he didn't really get big until after the launch. So all you have is Blizzard devs. Unless it's, Chris Metzen, let's face it, is really the only one who just come out and capture an audience. Him and Ghostcrawler, and Ghostcrawler only works on Warcraft.
Well, they must just be happy to have this cut out for them. God, what are we going to do for a launch? Oh, we'll make them play the game. Oh, thank God. We have guys who have trained to talk about this game.
Where are we, in Southern California? Day 9 and Husky live here? Oh, this is great. We've got an event. Woo! What are we going to do for France? I know, invite the French pros to come. What are we going to do for this area? Invite those pros. StarCraft just lends itself to events like this because
what will we do in
global.
South Korea?
Yes, who knows?
Which, by the way, check out the South Korean page for a wonderful picture of Wolf.
Are we just? This is what we're gonna do. The whole damn.
That's my last one.
The whole damn show is just look at the pictures of the casters and oh wow, that is okay. I'm throwing this up on the screen. That is the troll face of the century right there. Wolf Schroeder, you dog. Oh, that's great. Thank you for that, Kyle.
Just making a checklist of people who just aren't going to be guests on StarCast anytime soon.
But I'm super excited about this. For our own United States, MC, we got Suppy, and we know Vibe's been playing a lot of Hard this Swarm. So these are guys that are definitely going to represent the game well. In fact, if you look through the list of all the names, you don't find anyone who, you see a few people, but people have been, like, in the current GSL, not really. They've been too busy playing Hard this Swarm. Or Wings of Liberty. They've kind of gone out of their way to make sure these people showcasing the game know what they're doing.
Yeah. So, and of course they're going to have tons of interviews and stuff going on. I'm sure we're going to... Actually, I know for a fact we're going to see some of the voice actors show up for interviews as well. I may have talked to somebody who plays a very important character in the StarCraft game that may or may not be showing up on another podcast that we do. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. So tune in to the stream at 11:37. That's all I'm saying. If you only tune in for 1 minute, tune in then. But no, this is great. I'll definitely be tuning in for this since I'll be on the East Coast and we can't play the damn game till 3 a.m. anyway. So thanks for that. Anyways, that wraps up our StarCraft 2 discussion for the week. Let's get into the world. The world of what you say? The world of Warcraft. 5.2 has yet to rear its ugly head, but you know what it has reared? Ugly updates. Well, not really ugly, but an update nonetheless. We got a big update just today. It's the 5.2 PTR notes. Some of the highlights are as follows. We're not going to read the whole thing because it's long and it would bore you to tears, but a big general change is to area damage cap. So any of your AoE effects, the damage cap has now been changed. Previously, the AoE damage cap was 10 targets. It has now been increased to 20 targets. They said this means area of effect damage spells now reach their maximum damage when striking 20 targets. If more than 20 targets are struck, then the total damage done is spread evenly over the actual numbers of targets present. Which, I'm glad they clarified that, because I was originally like, wait, if there's more than 20 targets, I'm just not hitting them? But that is not the case.
Well, as a hunter, this is just like money symbols to me. It's just, I'm going to be doing more for nothing? Great.
I got bit by the hunter bug terribly this past week. I got myself geared up to hit LFR, got into LFR, got some epics. Multi-shot and glaive on top of a fire trap it's like fireworks on your computer, the numbers that show up.
Yep.
It's I don't know how you guys do it. It's ridiculous.
Well, I don't understand how nobody else wants to do it. Like, people who play other classes, like, what, you don't feel like mowing down hundreds of people at a time? Come on.
I was alone, which is sad. This is how big of an I was alone laughing in the first raid I went into, because I was surrounded by people with much better gear than I, and on the first pull, I rocketed to the number one spot by like a 10,000 DPS spread. And I was in like all blues, some greens, like scrub piece of crap. It was wonderful.
Yeah, and then you didn't reset it on the next boss, so you kept feeling good.
No. I'm doing like 40k plus on single target, and I've just hit 90. I'm respectful. I'm okay. I'm doing good. I hit 50 on one boss that was a low movement fight. I was really excited. Anyway, so that's a big change. Like you said, Mike, if you're an AoE related class, it'll be just fine for you. You'll do okay. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, whatever else they might have nerfed on hunters, they pretty much just threw us a gigantic bone with that one.
Yeah, exactly.
Here, have fun. Go get your EP like just stuck in a doorway.
But what also came in a flood was profession updates. There's a lot of these, and I'm just going to talk about a few of them here, some of the more interesting ones. But definitely make sure you go check out the notes to see it in full. Archaeology, you're going to be able to have manted archaeology. It has now been added. Players will be able to uncover common and rare manted artifacts, which are going to lead into a whole new realm of awesome things. Blacksmithing, the new raid and PvP blacksmithing recipes have been added, and they can be acquired through daily research of lightning steel ingots. How do you spell that? Ingots? Or pronounce that? I've never known how to pronounce that correctly.
Ingots.
Ingots.
Yeah, that's
okay.
what I always heard.
That is such an awkward word. It does not flow off the tongue. They also said that blacksmiths will be able to find a way to create the lightning steel ingots once their realm has unlocked the Thunder Forge on the Isle of Thunder. These ingots will allow blacksmiths to recreate powerful weapons from the past, updated for Mists of Pandaria. These power weapons will be bind on equip, and making them will take a significant amount of dedication. So this we talked a little bit about a month ago, I think. And a lot of them are long-lost designs from Burning Crusade blacksmithing that are just now impossible to get, I guess.
Well, this is just so cool. I mean, there was the Throne of Gul'dan, and was it that? Anyway, they're in the Shadowlands or whatever in Burning Crusade. But it's just great to have a place outside of the city where awesome people hang out.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm totally against things like the lexicons or things that you have to go to in order to change yourself. But when it comes to crafting an awesome item, doing it on a mountaintop, or in this case, the Forge of Thunder, is pretty worth it.
God, I love listening to you talk about things that are epic, Kyle. There's just, you get this excitement in you, and you draw these pictures with words that I'm just like, yes, I do want to be on a mountaintop, holding my sword to the air as thunder crashes down and forges a new weapon. It's a wonderful world. I wish I could just live in your mind for a day.
Oh.
And then, jewel crafting. Jewel crafters may find a design for serpent's hearts and uncut primal diamonds during their course of their adventure. These are going to be world drops. I'm very excited about this, as I have 2 Jewel Crafters.
Yeah, same here.
Now, there's been patches in the past that have brought this many changes, but this many changes to professions, classes, and new content at the same damn time? I mean, is this the biggest in-game non-expansion patch we've gotten?
Possibly.
They've had a lot of big patches.
But at the same time as content, I mean, usually the content comes first and then they go, whoops.
What do you mean?
Oh, like when they unleashed Lich King and then they kept messing, and that's when they started up doing all that, like, well, now we're lowering him by 5% and we're changing this, and then so-and-so class gets that.
Oh, well, I mean, that always happens. They're going to release this. There's going to be things wrong with the raids, so they're going to tweak certain things. But they never remove content or anything. I mean, when we got the Lich King patch, we got a raid and we got 5 new heroics. We did not get new dailies with that one, though. No, we still had the Urgent Tournament dailies going on then.
Yeah.
But I mean, this reminds me of Sunwell, if you want, because we're getting a whole new area dedicated to nothing but daily quests that revolve around a new raid. With Sunwell, we got the same thing. We got the Sunwell raid, and we got the Isle of Qualdanas with a whole bunch of new daily quests.
True, but here we're getting like a whole bunch of stuff for professions, lots of class changes, lots of additions to classes, like the Warlocks are finally getting that green flame stuff.
Okay.
You've got 2 world bosses. You've got changing up all sorts of crazy crap in here. I mean, they're really digging in.
Yeah. No. So now you put it like that, I think this might be. I mean, there's no way that I could say undeniably, yes, this is. I'm going to say it. Yes, this is the biggest one. So you can all just thank me for making up facts.
Sure. Yes. I mean, and coming from sort of looking at StarCraft patch notes all the time, seeing things like 150% change, 15%, 10, I mean, multiple, almost, it looks like every spell is getting changed by 25%. In StarCraft terminology, changing something 1% is like, oh, my God, let's theorize.
That
break it
game,
down.
that game, I mean, StarCraft teeters on such a fine line at all times, and that line is named balance. So, it's a little different. But still. Yeah.
Talks to some PvPers. I doubt they'll say the opinions are much different, though the implement of the philosophy is definitely different.
Yeah.
Oh, everyone in PvP is just waiting for their turn to have their class be OP, and every time that they're not, they just complain. That's basically PvP in a nutshell for Warcraft.
Dear God, I remember chaining Alterac Valleys after the Lich King patch hit Burning Crusade, and Ret Paladins just camping graveyards. Single Ret Paladins just killing everybody.
You could 2-shot everybody.
Oh my God, it was amazing. And I wasn't a Paladin then. It was so sad. Nonetheless, that is when I went and made my Paladin, though. I'm playing it to this day. Finally, for Jewel Crafting, the Serpent's Heart, if you're wondering, is a daily cooldown that consumes several Serpent's Eyes to create a random rare quality Pandaren gem. In addition, there is a small chance that a player will discover the design for the Sapphire Cub or the Jade Owl. Is that... Don't most Jewel Crafters already know how to make the Sapphire Cub and Jade Owl?
I know the Jade Owl, but not the Cub. But This is good because it finally gives me a chance to touch my Jewel Crafter again at all. Like, I really haven't been doing much of anything except for, like, every month or so I might need a new gem or something. This actually gives me
even then, the majority of gems are so cheap, it's not worth logging out and going to another tune.
Oh, yeah. I mean, because everybody's got a pretty good random chance when they're making greens while they're leveling just to make a blue. So all the blues are worth not that much. Meta gems are worth a pretty good amount, but you've got to go pay alchemists to make those for you, and they'll charge you up the butt. So it's good that now you can actually make one yourself, under your own power. So finally, Jewel Crafters aren't beholden to another class to actually make some money.
That's been my issue with mining for the longest time. After Lich King, we haven't been able to make the rare metal on our own. We've needed alchemists. I don't understand why alchemists always get the cool crap.
Alchemists have just been like the money lenders for professions for like 2 expansions, because anything expensive needs an alchemist.
And it's on a
to make
24-hour
something
cooldown,
really expensive.
so they're going to charge you out the ass.
Yeah.
Oh, you go find all the stuff and then pay me to rub my hands together. All right, thank you.
Yeah, and I've got this here proc that'll give me like 5 of it, but I'm only going to give you 1 of them because that's all you paid me for.
Yep.
Oh, come on. Are you guys seriously doing business with those guys? You keep the procs. That's what you say when you advertise. Tips appreciated.
All right. Anyways, moving on. Also coming in 5.2, tag sharing on quests and rare mobs is going to be happening. Currently, credit for killing quest NPCs can be shared amongst multiple players, but in 5.2, both quest NPCs and rare mobs, of which there will be many come 5.2, can be killed by players other than the original tagger. Quest credit as well as loot rewards will be obtainable by all those who take part in the kill, with the caveat that each additional player who engages in combat will increase the NPC's health pool by 50%. To spell this out further, let's give you an example. One player is killing a mob with 1 million HP. The mob is at 50 HP, which would mean it would have 500,000. Another player starts helping him kill it. The mob's max HP will rise to 1.5 million, but their current health percentage will stay the same, so it's still at 50% of health, which would now be 750,000 HP. Yes, I wrote this down. No, I cannot do math that well on the fly.
This is nice. Because it allows both people to add on to the fight, and if other people come along, the fight stays enjoyable, challenging, doesn't suddenly just burst into flames and stop seeming cool.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have, I mean, of course, people are worried about some abuse. I mean, if there's a raid of 40 jackasses that run up, hit your guy and run away, I mean, then you're stuck with it.
If you have 40 people that you can coordinate just to be a troll of that magnitude, I applaud you.
Exactly. More power to you. And the person's not going to suffer that. I mean, they're going to suffer wading through that horrible, horrible health pool. But the boss isn't just, it's not going to just start killing them. This isn't, unchanged Diablo where I log into Garrett's game for a moment to say, hey, and I murder him 3 times.
Which has happened to me, and it's not fun.
Well, I think since it's all supposed to be like percentage based on the HP, there's a timeout for how long between when you tag something and when you stop, between when it just says, okay, you're not dealing with this anymore. When you would technically be out of combat, it's like, 15 seconds or something like that? I imagine at that point, the life would just go right back.
Yeah, that's interesting. I'm not sure about that.
I don't know, it doesn't explain to that point. Another good caveat, though, to mention that this does not include kill 20 boars type of quests. The only mobs that will share tags are like big quest mobs, meaning basically any of those tag mobs any of the quest mobs that have unique names, like blah 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 the Sunderer. He will.
I am curious does this count for world bosses? Because they were saying
yes.
More than one faction can tag.
No. This
so
is
if you've got
actually
like a 40-man raid, and then another 40-man raid comes along, you're gonna have a boss with 40 trillion hit points.
No, that doesn't. No, they're talking about the new rare spawns. There's gonna be a bunch of new rare spawns, which are not world bosses. They're just elites.
Okay.
So
yeah, I mean, we do have the new with this patch. We have the.
I like that you almost called it expansion.
The way, like I said, I got that text last week, and then just the way they've been advertising it, it's in my head like that. But we have the tag to faction, but that's for the world bosses only.
Right.
I think you can even just hit it as a regular dude. Like, you don't even have to. I mean, obviously, you'll probably die. But if you get lucky and you see like someone killing the Shaw of Anger and he's down to like 1%, you could run in there and just like shoot him in the head real quick and probably get something. It sounds like that's what they're talking about.
They don't mention world bosses here, though, dude. Only rare spawns.
Well, no, they've been talking about the world boss mechanics as well, which I think.
Oh yeah, that was a while back. Yeah, no, you're right. They're gonna make it to where it's basically more organic.
Yeah.
Like, you can just kind of show up. But, I mean, at this point, no one's just hanging out in the Kunlai Summit who's 90. Like, I mean, it's still going to pretty much be like, hey, Shaw spawned, everyone, let's get out here. It's still going to be somewhat organized to a point.
Oh, I'm sure.
Because there's no dailies out in Kunlai for 90 that I'm aware of. But, Anyway, speaking of awesome things, we got a new mount coming. The armored Skyscreamer mount.
Ah, yes. This is something I'm supposed to talk about. Every raid in WoW typically has a special mount tied to a set of raid achievements, and the Thunder King is not being stingy on this front. The Glory of the Thundering Raider achievement will be rewarding the Armored Skyscreamer Flying Mount, which is basically a cross between a pterodactyl and a proto-drake and something with really, really British teeth. It is just... it can't possibly eat anything without a straw. And that's all I have to say about that.
Yeah, I mean the thing looks pretty stinking cool. As you can see if you're watching the live show, it is cool looking. It shares pretty much all the same animations as a proto drake. If you're have a keen eye for that type of thing,
It's just missing the little arms, little T-Rex arms that proto drakes have.
Yep. So if you just amputated the arms off of a proto drake and get sued by PETA of WoW, then yeah, that would happen. But no, it's great looking. I really dig this thing. It's a crazy dinosaur looking thing. This is not the pterodactyl that Pee-wee would call over to talk to. This would eat Pee-wee.
There's only
a sad day.
one thing about it that just kind of bugs me, and that's the little bone through the nose. I don't know what it is about it, but you got this really cool looking, awesome armored pterodactyl, and then it's just like, hey, you know what? Bone through the nose.
Yeah, nothing badass about the Flintstones.
Yeah, I agree with you there. It looks tacked on. It doesn't match anything else about the thing.
It kind of works into the troll madness that's been going on.
Still.
Bones and everything. Bones and all noses.
You get a bone. You get a bone.
First rule of the troll empire.
Yeah, indeed. But anyways, that'll do it for World of Warcraft. Let's talk a little more Diablo news that we kind of already talked about. We're going to talk about it anyway, damn it. Diablo 3, and this is big news, ladies and gentlemen, is coming to the PlayStation 3 and 4. We're all giving away our opinions already. If I was paid to hype this, it would sound like this. During Sony's PlayStation 4 announcement extravaganza, Blizzard's creative development vice president Chris Metzen announced that Diablo 3 will be coming to both the PS3 and PS4. It will be based on the core PC game and will feature all of the latest changes, including monster power, Paragon levels, Infernal Machine, and brawling. The controls and UI will be customized and the camera perspective modified to be a good fit for a console system. The PS3 version of Diablo 3 will have its public debut March 22nd through the 24th at PAX East in Boston, Massachusetts. There will be a playable demo for all attendees. Well, not for all of them, for attendees in general. Blizzard released screenshots showing a simplified gameplay UI, but not much details can be determined at this point. A fun little fact that is probably the most interesting bit of news from this entire thing, and I am being absolutely serious now, is that this is actually the first time Blizzard has released a game for a console system since The Lost Vikings 2, which was in 1997. 16 years.
Well, that's not entirely true, is it? Didn't they? I mean, they had the game that shall not normally be mentioned, which is StarCraft 64.
That was either 96 or 97 as well, I believe. I think they were all the same year.
Really? Okay.
I think they did a big push, and I think for whatever reason, Lost Vikings 2 was the last one to come out.
Wow. I would have figured Lost Vikings 2 came out on the Genesis or something. Well, whatever.
No, that's funny. I'm curious now.
N64 in 2000, actually.
Oh.
So...
Never mind.
But the Lost Vikings may not be so far off as a game that actually worked for a console.
That's a good
something
point.
that was from the get-go designed for console. This is, you could almost say this is kind of dangerous territory for Blizzard to be porting a flagship title to a console again. I sincerely doubt this will be any kind of revisitation of StarCraft 64, though.
No, and I mean, if you're going to do one of the titles, Diablo is certainly the best for it. I mean, it is so easy to hold down a control stick and have that direction that you're pushing be basically your shift attack.
I would actually argue that that moving with a joystick is probably going to be more comfortable than constantly right-clicking.
I will probably agree with that. And the camera perspective modifier sounds interesting. If you can actually adjust the camera along to a certain degree, that would be great.
There's no way they're going to let you pivot it, though, because a lot of the art assets are actually two-dimensional.
Yeah, that's probably...
There's absolutely no way that's going to happen.
Kill my dreams. Just kill my dreams.
Zooming in and zooming out will probably still function, and it'll probably be mapped to the right stick, is my assumption. But, yeah, other than that, I honestly thought social media was going to be the most boring part of the PlayStation announcement, but I think this was.
Oh,
Burn.
I don't know. I mean, and I'm not jumping on the hate train that so many people have. If you go to your Reddits and your YouTube comments and etc., the amount of pure rage focused around this thing, I just find absurd. A lot of people saying that the big conspiracy being that Diablo 3 was always planned to be a console game, and that's why it was more streamlined, simplified, and they're basically putting it out there to be a cash grab, to which I say this is absurd. If it was a cash grab, it would have launched on console the same time as PC, because I think everybody that really wants to play Diablo has already played it.
well, and I enjoy being part of the PC master race as much as the next person, but having to use your F keys to change your spells and only getting one spell selected, that was crap in Diablo 2. Streamline at 100%. If anything, I'm sad that my wizard couldn't have a draw your own wall of force ability or some more things like that that could have been really cool implemented with a mouse only. I mean, imagine like seeking arrows where you fire it and you could have, tracked it with your mouse or something. There's a lot of abilities that could have been augmented using only the PC.
That's a good point.
True. Actually, the most interesting thing to me, and maybe you guys would know about this, is it supposed to be always online, like the PC version? Because I've heard from some, a lot of people out there don't really know what they're talking about, but I heard a couple people mentioning that it's not going to be always online, and they were really upset by this. I imagine because, a lot of people would have a console that wouldn't be online.
Yeah.
But, will that mean that they're just not going to tack it to the same kind of actual money auction house that the PC version is?
That is a very good question, and I don't believe that there's been an official answer on that forefront.
Well, and there's multiple sides to it too, because if you are making people be online, then do they need their own copies? Is there no split screen multiplayer, which we know there isn't for the PS3 because it can't handle it. I don't have an answer for that for PS4 yet. I mean, I got Dungeon Siege for my PlayStation, I think it was 3, because I was really excited for the release of Diablo. And that game didn't live up, and frankly, split screen in that game was awful.
Yeah. It doesn't say anything about this in their official press release. The only thing it says is local co-op mode, but you could still do a local co-op, but still need to ping a server at some point.
Yeah. That would probably be the only console game I can think of that isn't online, like DCU or something like that would require being online at all times.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That would really split your market a lot. They'd have to advertise it real big on the cover of the game box.
Like requires an internet connection.
I just got nerd chills up all over my body, because have you played the Lego games? Because if they're talking about dynamic split screen, that thing is a awesome example.
Oh yeah, where it automatically splits it when you get too far away.
Yeah,
and then when you get
someone's
close,
heading far to the left and you're hanging to the right, the split screen, kind of rotates so it's half and half, and you get that half of the screen and you get the left half. And if one of you goes too far north, the other one goes too far south, that split screen rotates to be horizontal and allows that space in between to be hidden.
I have seen this, and you are right. It is the bomb.
I think I liked it better in Smash Brothers Brawl, where just player 2 is screwed. You fall off the screen and you're dead. You should have known better, man. Keep up.
Gives you that little beady 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 as you fall off. Yep.
And then some really, really mean-spirited announcer goes, "Failure."
Exactly.
Oh, that game just destroyed my soul so many times as a child. It made me the angry video game nerd I am now. And completely destroyed an old roommate of Mike and I's. He has no soul left. He has to suck on unicorns for sustenance. But anyways, that is that, and that wraps up another episode of This Week in Blizz. Mike, dude, thank you so much for joining us and filling in for Ben. I'm sure we'll have you on again before he returns.
It's my pleasure.
We're kind of flying by the guest seat of our pants as we fill in for Ben while he's gone. I think next week we're having Tash on, the writer for This Week in Blizz. I think he'll be sitting in with us, who is another Mike, but we call him Tash. So there is that. If you have not left us a nice iTunes review, please do so. It helps. It is one of the best ways you can help the show out. It helps us get new listeners, and it's just all around great for the ratings of the show on the iTunes store. So if you have not left us a review, please do so, and we'll give you a shout out on the show. This Week in Blizz is a production of amove.tv. You can see more about This Week in Blizz at thisweekinblizz.com, as well as email us at thisweekinblizz@gmail.com. Catch us live every Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern right here at amove.tv/live, and follow us on Twitter at This Week in Blizz, myself at Garrett Art, Kyle at Kyle Ferguson. You can follow the currently missing in Mordor Ben at Pixel Garbage, and Mike does not yet have a Twitter. If you'd like to join us, all three of us, as a matter of fact, in World of Warcraft, even Mike is in this guild, you can join us in our Lightbringer US Alliance Guild versus the World, and you can go to vstheworldguild.com to apply, check out the site, whatever. Just join us. We're always looking for new members. You can find both Kyle and myself on StarCast, the StarCraft podcast, and you can find my personal graphic design work at nomoonart.com. Kyle, where can people find you when you're not doing these wonderful shows?
You can find me over at Biggest Fan Podcast. While we're talking like the Beatles, is that what you were going for?
I was going for Kip. I've made it with a woman. Inform the man.
Oh, I see. Yes, sir. Yes, Biggest Fan Podcast, where we follow the fattest drive you mad for 1 week. Last week was House of Cards and Netflix original programming. This week, I am slowly tearing out my soul watching all the Stephen King movies I can. Last night I watched The Mist, and boy, did that leave me feeling empty.
Mike and I both have a story about that because we roomed together in college and watched that when it came out on DVD, and we loved every minute of it until the ending.
Sure.
If it hadn't been downloaded, we would have ejected the disc, snapped it in half, and thrown it out the window.
It was one of those things where I got it right, and I immediately hate it. Where I'm just like, you know what? You know what's going to happen right now? Tank going to roll by. And then all of a sudden it happened. I'm like, what? No, I was joking. Ah!
Oh, yeah. Well, and then you're sitting there the whole movie, kill the bitch. Just kill her. Kill the bitch. Kill her. Kill her. Yeah. Come on, aliens, kill her. But they don't.
Not only that, you're like, you know what would be even better to be on that tank? The black guy. The guy who's like so going to die. Yeah, here I am on the thing. Just like, yep, chilling in the fog.
Oh, man.
Turn it off before the ending. Just do that. Watch it up until they drive away in the car. Let them drive away in the car, and just you're done. That's the end of the movie. Woo!
Yeah, that was the end of the book, and it was great.
Because other than that, The Mist is the best Half-Life movie we're ever going to get.
Yeah, I mean, the creators of Half-Life even said as much, that they were influenced by The Mist. It was sweet. I mean, it was a Zerg rush. I had a great time, getting to see. I always love movies where there's a culture, there's multiple angles to the alien race. It's not just, I'm a horrible alien. It's like, well, where's the cat of your world? Where's the whale?
Yeah, exactly.
Who brings a cat and a whale, though?
Man, I actually want to go watch that again, despite the terrible ending.
I also checked out, I had never seen Shawshank Redemption until this weekend.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Dude,
okay, that more than makes up for anything else that Stephen King made.
Isn't that rated as like the greatest movie of all time on Rotten Tomatoes or something?
I'm sure it is. It was excellent.
It is a phenomenal movie. I mean, absolutely great. He should just write. We should just write about prisons more often, because Green Mile is another one of the greatest damn things he's ever done.
Yeah.
Just walk around the rest of your day with a Morgan Freeman voice in your head, though.
And
that was the last time I saw Andy Dufresne.
That was the last time I asked Kyle to pimp Biggest Fan.
That's probably the best thing Robot Chicken ever did, if you can ever find a clip of that, is the Shawshank Redemption they did with Batman and the Joker. It's freaking amazing. And
Haven't seen that. Oh my god.
It makes me happy every time I even think about it.
Oh, I'm going to look that up right after the show. Anyways, big thanks to our sponsors as well, doghousesystems.com and tweakedaudio.com. Our code is TWIB, that's TWIB. What does it get you? Well, it gets you this. It gets you double memory on your next Doghouse Systems gaming rig. So you can go from 4 gigs to 8 gigs, 8 gigs to 16 gigs. Don't go beyond 16 gigs. It's madness. You will create the mist. Don't do it. They're also still doing their Kerrigan Ghost Rifle promotion. If you use the code Kerrigan, you can use this code along with TWIB, so you'll get double memory and you'll also get entered in the drawing. If you use the code Kerrigan, you'll be entered for a chance to win a life-size prop replica of Kerrigan's Ghost Rifle. This is being handmade by Bill Duran of Punish Props. Go check out his site. He does amazing work. The rifle is going to be worth over, I believe, $12,000 when it's all said and done. After time-involved materials, sculpting, all that jazz. So it's going to be great. All of the props he has done are just gorgeous. And he's actually documenting, like, step-by-step the process of building this gun. And he just looks so damn cool. I want to hang out with this guy. Like, hey, dude, can I just come over and hang out in your garage? That'd be really cool. But yeah.
I just want to sniff the fumes that come off his greatness.
Oh, no, that's just the mold. You should have put the gas mask back on. What are you doing? Anyways, so go do that. Use the code Kerrigan, use the code TWIB, and get double memory while you're attempting to win a Ghost Rifle. That same code, TWIB, TWIB, will get you 30% off and free shipping on your entire order of noise-reducing earbuds from tweakedaudio.com. They have many different styles, many different colors. They are all trendy as hell. Might I recommend the naturals? They're made out of actual wood. And if you thought to yourself, man, I'm never going to get earbuds because they're not hipster enough, you're wrong, sir. There are wooden ones, and they are hipster as F. So go check it out. That's tweakedaudio.com, TWEAKED audio.com. And we thank them for their support. All right, guys, that is it. That is the show, and we will see you next week. We are so damn close to the launch of Heart of the Swarm. I can almost taste it.
Now.
It tastes like purple goo, which oddly enough, Play-Doh flavored. Play-Doh flavored. So there's that. Thank you for tuning in, and see you next week.
Take care.